Alabama and Duke both hung 100 on their opponents in the Sweet 16, and now this sets up maybe an all-time offensive game potentially. I think we correctly called that BYU Alabama would have a ton of points. We did not correctly call the outcome. We thought BYU would hold up their end of the bargain there. Didn't happen. They went under. Everybody on Alabama made shots. It was not exaggerating, a historic performance from Alabama. We have never seen a team make more three-point attempts in an NCAA tournament game than what Alabama just did against BYU. And then against Arizona for Duke, they needed to score 100. Like, as good as the Duke defense has been, Arizona scored with them. Caleb Love had 35 points. He kind of looked up, and you needed to win that game offensively. They proved that they can. But I guess coming into this Elite Eight matchup, Cart, do you think that these two teams and their offensive firepower is going to be the story?
My initial answer is no. No, to me, I think that this game could be one where the defenses are what shines and what steps up. And obviously, Duke is the best defense in the sport. Bama's defense can cause problems as well. They don't really cause turnovers, but they do a good job of using their length. And the guards have really quick hands. Like LeBaron Fallon's a really good on-ball defender, and they just have a lot of size and length usually on the floor. So, I do think that the defense is going to be key in this one, especially because it seems that Bama, if they're hitting threes, then you're going to have to step up and stop that somehow. And on paper, Duke's guards have the ability to do so. Like they have Sion James, they have Tyrese Proctor, even guys like Cooper Flagg can be switchable at the guard spot to guard people. So, it's going to be, I think it's going to come down to defense because we saw what it looks like when Bama does the three things. Like they hit 25 threes.
Yeah, it was insane.
51 attempts. Didn't they only attempt like 10 or 12 2-point field goals?
I can look that up for you real quick.
Like it was an insane shooting performance. I haven't seen something like that in a long time.
Yeah, Alabama attempted 15 twos, 51 threes.
Dog, like what?
It's Oats ball.
And they made 25.
And they made 25 of them. Yeah. You had three different guys with five or more threes. Sears, 10 threes on his own with 8 assists to go with them. Didn't even feel like he was gunning. Didn't even feel like he was selfish. It was just the right shot every single time. Okay. Duke did a lot of things I think we would say are sustainable. And I don't mean to come after Alabama and say they're not sustainable, but the way that Duke got to 100, they only attempted 19 threes. They're not going to hit 58% of those always. They went 11 for 19 from three. But they got to the free throw line. They're a great free throw shooting team. They shot 61% from two. Cooper Flagg, 6 shots inside. Man, six basically dunks. Like, I think a lot of what Duke did in that game is basically sustainable. You want to play an up and down runny game? We'll get a bunch of dunks and layups. I think that's going to be their plan against Alabama. And I think Alabama's plan is going to be, you want to beat us with twos? Great. We'll beat you with threes. Three is more than two. This is Nate Oates' entire system. Good luck. Now, we know that this is obvious at this point. If Alabama's making their threes, they may be the hardest team to beat in the country. They're going to have to work harder for them in this game than they did against BYU, who went under on seemingly everything. But just that sort of setup of this game card, Duke's going to say, well, yeah, we'll beat you at the rim. We'll get easy shots. And Alabama's going to say, we'll bomb away from three. Do you think that's what both teams are planning on, and who does that favor?
Like Bama just bombing threes.
I mean, do you think that's their plan, to attack the Duke defense that is incredible?
Hmm. So the one thing about it is I think they want to do that, but I also think that Bama, I mean, they're one of the better 2-point percentage offenses in the country as well. So like if you're gonna take that away, then they're gonna go to the hoop. And credit to Mark Sears, the first team All-American, like you saw what he can do getting to the hoop and creating for others. Like why that's why he had 8 assists, whether it was, a lob to Cliff or a dump off the Grant or even a kick out for a better 3-point shot if he's ran off the line. But it is going to take Bama's best offensive performance because this Duke defense can be suffocating, absolutely suffocating at times.
So okay,
But they did give up 93, and Caleb Love scored 35. So I guess on the flip side of this, Mark Sears is very capable of doing what Caleb Love did last game. Very capable.
he is. So okay. Oh, why am I talking myself into this, man? Ah, ah. I'm so torn on this because I want to
Bama
give
can win this guy.
Alabama.
Bama can win this game. I'll tell you that right now. I feel like people don't think they can.
They can. I agree. So I want to give Alabama their flowers largely because of how wrong I was about the BYU outcome. But I'm sitting here as a guy who simultaneously I've picked Duke the whole season. As I've watched this tournament progress, I felt like Duke is just going to win by 10 every game. I mean, they were blowing Arizona out. That game ended up close. They're up 20 midway through the second half. Win by 7 on a night where Caleb Love has 35. Like, okay, what does Mark Sears need 42 and we're tied? Is that how you
Mm.
beat this Duke team? Because maybe Alabama can do that. But like that seems like it's what it takes. At the same time, I feel like we all came into this tournament and everyone was like, oof, you don't want to be in Duke's region. That's the team you want to avoid. Just avoid them. I would argue that at this point in the field, Elite Eight, 8 teams left. Alabama is the one team nobody wants to see.
Yeah, I don't want to see the team. Like, I don't want to see Cooper Flag. Don't get me wrong. I also don't want to see a team that can hit 25 threes on a night.
That you know almost the way they play is you have to play their game. And that's what Oates ball does to you. Like you're going to play a game that depends on if Alabama makes or misses their shots. If they make them, good luck. It's also, oh, by the way, a team that was at the Final Four last year
Mm.
that's on a little bit of a revenge mission with an All-American guard and with a big that is as dynamic as Grant Nelson is. Honestly, if we want to have that conversation, is there a player in the sport that matches up better with Cooper Flag than Grant Nelson?
Carter Bryant.
I don't think so. You lied to me on that.
It wasn't lying such a strong word.
Yeah, you lied to me on that. But I kind of think Grant Nelson's going to be up for this. Now it's
Yeah.
Cooper Flag. He'll be up for everything. But
Coop, Coop, Grant Nelson, Andrew Carr.
do you think that Grant
Timothy
Nelson's going to
Chapman.
be able to disrupt Cooper Flag at all?
Yeah, I do. I do think he'll be able to disrupt them because I also like on the same token as Nelson, like Coop is a great player, great finisher, all that, right? Um, Nelson and Cliff are a massive front court. Like Nelson is 6'11", Cliff is 6'11", 7 foot. Like they both have massive wingspans. It's gonna be tough to score at the rim on that team. Like I mean, the numbers metrically don't match up with that, but you're looking at a lot of length when you're trying to score at the rim, and I do think that can affect Coop. Because like, when's the last time Cooper Flag has played somebody this year who like physically can hang and like match up with him?
Oh, I don't know.
Like I'm like
I don't
I'll
think he
put
has.
yeah. Like I mean,
I don't think he
Louisville,
has.
no. North Carolina, no. Like there's no team in the ACC that has somebody. Illinois, no.
I mean, it would have been like Auburn, but even that, like, it wasn't like Broom and Flag were one on one.
Right. Also, like Broom can't match up with Flag. Like Flag could have took him out on the perimeter. I don't think it would have looked as
Why
sweet.
do I feel like Grant Nelson's the only guy in the sport that could?
It might be
Because he moves almost as well as Coop does at a similar size.
similar
Athleticism
athleticism.
is similar.
Yeah.
And Grant Nelson, we've seen this before in person. He's a big game guy. He gets up for shit. He postered Donovan Clingan last year.
Hmm.
Now they lost by 15.
I don't like what I'm talking myself into right now.
Why am I talking myself into this?
Maybe we should stop.
Should we stop?
Yeah.
Can we do our Duke our Dukes again? Just like remind ourselves. Give me the
What are the
attitudes.
three things you're bringing on a deserted island?
Some food, a gun, and Con Knipple.
Yeah. Shout out to Dos Leches. Them boys are tough. Khan is so good, and Sion is so good. And they finally got Tyrese Proctor not playing like he's prime Derek White, and they still won and were leading by 20 in this game
Sion
because
was so good.
because Coop Coop had 37, 6, 3 blocks, one turnover, and a steal.
We're talking about Grant Nelson can
Yeah, with
stop
all
that.
due respect to Grant Nelson, like, nah, piss off.
Oh my God.
We're doing the thing. We're doing the thing.
If Alabama shoots the way they did against BYU, what's the score of the game?
I mean, at risk of getting myself clipped again, they're not going to do that again.
But if they do,
If they do, they can win.
what's the score? If they shoot the exact same shooting performance they did against BYU, an NCAA tournament record for threes. They do it again. What's the score of this game?
101 to 99.
So you think with an all-time record-setting performance, they win by two?
Duke's that good.
That's crazy. Who has the better supporting cast?
Bama.
Outside of Sears and Nelson, outside of Flag and Khan.
I think Bama.
You would take Phylon, Cliff, Youngblood, all the other interchangeable bigs. Shout out to Detroit native Aiden Sherrill. Where did he play in Detroit, by the way?
He's from Detroit, but like he never played. He played at prolific. Like he's from Detroit, but I'm pretty sure he lived in Arizona for most of his life.
Oh, then why does he get to claim Detroit? That hurts.
I might be wrong on that though, but I know he played high school in Arizona
Okay.
with Jeremiah Fears actually.
Okay.
Shout out to Compass. Um, Actually, no, that's wrong. I'm sorry. He played for Prolific Prep with Darion Reed. My apologies. That's on me. Uh, but yeah, I think I would take Bama. I think Bama is the most talented roster in the sport, top to bottom.
Duke's the most talented roster in the sport, top to bottom. What are we doing?
No, I think Bama's the most talented roster in the sport, top to bottom.
What? How is Bama more talented than Duke?
Just like go all the way top to bottom.
Okay, let's do it.
Now Duke's top is
So let's
National Player
let's
of the
do
Year.
it guy by guy. Cooper Flag and Mark Sears.
Cool.
Con Knipple, the second most talented player on Duke.
Yeah,
Grant Nelson, the second most talented player on Bama.
yeah.
Who wins?
Con.
Man, the third most talented player on Duke. Probably LeBaron Philon. Is that
Uh,
fair?
yeah.
Darion Reed. I
No, not Darion Reed.
think it's Philon
Yeah, I was gonna say, or maybe Holloway.
or Holloway. Either way, I'm going man. The lottery pick.
I would go the Bama guy. Whichever one you want to pick.
Think Aiden Holloway is more talented than Kaman Maluak.
No, okay. Well, we start playing the talented game. They have the
That's the
more
word you used.
top. All right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, we haven't even gotten to Proctor. Like, I want to keep going,
No,
dog.
I take it back. I
Isaiah
take it
Evans
back.
is their
I
seventh
take it.
guy.
I take it back. I take it
Okay.
back.
Okay. Like I'm a second away from like Caleb Foster, Latrell Wrightsell. You might go Wrightsell.
Michael Russell.
Okay. But no, I hear your point. Like Alabama, maybe like playable depth, maybe. But I guess the point to me would just be like the guys that are like out of roles for Duke would be in roles at Alabama. They're so talented, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Maybe not though. Darian Reed's great, and he barely plays. So these are probably the two most talented deep rosters.
Yeah, Bama can be two. Duke can be one.
1A, 1B even. I'm fine with that. Yeah,
Okay,
handshake
fine.
emoji. Uh Tempo. We know that Bama plays breakneck. Duke will they're interesting. They're 264th in tempo, but offensively they usually play pretty fast. Defensively is where they drag it down. They just guard so well that their half court possessions end up really long.
Mm.
That's not going to happen against Bama. It just isn't. Even if Duke puts on a defensive masterpiece, the possessions are going to be short. Bama will come down in transition and jack threes before Duke's defense is even set. So if Duke wants to slow this game down, they're going to have to deliberately do it on the offensive end, I think, which is not something they normally do. If you were John Shire, is that something that would be a focus for you in this game?
I think so. I think so because I think Bama is at best when they are like running, gunning threes in transition, offensive rebounds, kick out threes, and it's pouring in. So I do think there needs to be a little bit of an emphasis on trying to slow things down a little bit. And
I could see it going
I
both
think Duke
ways.
can
It
do
kind of
that
scares
too.
me.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I could see it going both ways. It kind of scares me because, like, I could see Duke thinking, "Y'all want to run with us? Like, you want to turn this into a free flowing open court game against Cooper Flag? Okay, fine. Good luck." Or I could see them being like, "I have so much respect for Bama. We need to slow them down, drag them into the mud." But in general, I feel like when Duke gets out in transition, they're usually killing teams. So I don't know which way this is going to go.
Yeah. And like we saw last game, they're very effective offensively when they get to the foul line. Bama can foul, so gotta that's something that they do. But I was sorry, I was just caught off guard. Duke literally doesn't have a guy on their roster under 6'5".
Yeah, it's insane.
That feels un like who allowed that?
I don't know.
No
Yeah,
disrespect to
should we put
Sexton.
some rules in?
Something.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. In your mind, where's Alabama's biggest matchup advantage here? Is it just Sears and he needs to be the best guard on the court and win whatever personal matchup he has?
Yeah, I think Sears is going up against the best defensive backcourt in the country that are bigger than him, and probably stronger than him. And what does he have for that?
Because he's bigger than me, stronger than me, and he's older than me, and wiser than me. You know what I'm doing?
No, what are you doing?
You don't know that?
No,
But he ain't on the JV song with me. You don't know that?
no.
Dog. That's crazy. You
Who
don't
is
know
it?
Early Bieber?
Oh, that's on me. Sorry, I didn't know we were
Crazy.
getting Beaver references.
Crazy.
If we're
I'm
getting Beaver
just
references, I got Duke by 7.
well, the bigger than me, stronger than me was straight. How do you not know that? Never say never, Bieber?
My apologies.
Crazy. Wild. What about the coaching? Because I was gonna argue that's Alabama's biggest advantage, maybe.
How big of an advantage is that?
Minor.
Yeah, it's not that big.
It's because I Shire's been great. I just have Oates as my best coach in the sport right now.
Yeah, and yeah, that's fair to say that this ain't like Oates versus Hubert here.
Because the thing about Oates is this: that game against BYU, that's gonna happen again. Maybe not in this game, but like that's Nate Oates' ball.
Hmm.
He's going to put a product on the floor that's capable of that every single year, forever. Never going to change. Doesn't matter what players are in the uniforms. They're going to be a team that could do that in the NCAA tournament. And at some point, he's going to win a national championship doing that. And I think with Shire, this year's team is very special, even for what Shire wants to build. I don't think there's much about this team that we're going to say future Duke teams are doing that.
Hmm.
No disrespect to them. That makes the sense of urgency special for this year. But I just have so much respect for what Oates has done. It's a philosophy that's bigger than this team. And I do kind of wonder what if this philosophy is so good that it's Oates ball philosophy that breaks the Cooper Flag Duke team.
That'd be it'd be a signature moment for sure.
Last question from me, then we can predict. Both these teams make a lot of threes. Duke shoots 39% from three. Bama, after a historic performance, is up to 36% from three on the year. If one of these teams were to go nuclearly cold, shoot 5 for 25 from three, which one is it?
Bama.
Pretty comfortably, it's Bama.
Actually, no, I take that back. It's Duke.
Why?
Because I think Duke has been the benefit of some crazy shooting from Tyrese Proctor lately, who's a good shooter, don't get me wrong. Sion James is, I think, gets a lot of open looks, and he knocks those open looks down. Credit to him. But what if there's like stick to Khan, of course, because he's that great of a shooter, but also like you just check Grant Nelson on Cooper Flag straight up, don't help as much. And I don't think guys get as good of looks from 3-point range as they typically get when you kind of have the gravity of some of the guys on Duke.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. I came into this thinking that I tweeted this last night. Bama's just going to shoot like 5 for 50 from three and lose a game by 80. I think that could happen at some point in this tournament before it ends. But after talking it through, I think this is going to be a classic. I have a lot of respect for Oates and this group of Sears and Nelson and the way they played and what they've done and come together. This is the number one game of the Elite Eight, number one game of the tournament, and it's an opponent I don't think Duke is happy to see, which is the greatest compliment I can give a team. Let's give our predictions. Duke favored by 6 per Kenneth Pomeroy. What do you got?
You know what? Classic game, one possession game. Duke shakes off one possession demons that people say is the only way they can lose. They win this game 90 to 88.
That'd be awesome. I'll go one possession game as well. Mark Sears in the timeout, down one, 20 seconds left. We cut to the Alabama huddle, and Mark Sears is like really passionately like talking. He's leading. We come out of the huddle. The ball finds LeBaron Philon.
Not again.
LeBaron Philon turns down Mark Sears, and Cooper Flag beats that shit to the 30th row, and Duke wins by one.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.